The bottom line, if you, like me, well, then you're a big believer in cryptocurrency, and you will want to own Coinbase for the long haul. Fortunately, by their own admission, this should be a ridiculously volatile stock. So if you're patient, you could eventually be able to get in at a good price. I say buy some tomorrow, ideally at less than $475, but I accept that some has to be bought, and then wait to buy more on weakness. And get ready for the bumpiest ride of your financial life. A ride I expect to be lucrative over the long haul.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Kesh, and today we're gonna do a deep dive into Coinbase and its future potential. Let's start with the basics. Coinbase holds about 1 million Bitcoin in cold storage, which means that at the time of this recording, they have about $32 billion worth of Bitcoin. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Coinbase is much more than just a crypto exchange. So let's take a look at what other services they provide. If you already know this, then feel free to skip ahead using the timestamps below. The main idea here is that our financial systems are built on top of institutions like banks, venture capital firms, and the stock exchange. Without these three institutions, the average American would never be able to build wealth or move up socioeconomically. But all three of these institutions are flawed in one way or another. My proposition to you is that Coinbase has the potential to be all three of these and get rid of their flaws at the same time. So let's start with banks. A traditional bank will offer you a checking and a savings account as a bare minimum. This lets you plug into the financial system. In other words, it's your on-ramp to credit cards, paying your bills online, and even getting direct deposits from your job. Without a bank account, you can't really do any of these things in our current economy. Coinbase functions as a bank for the crypto economy. Once you have an account on Coinbase, you can convert your fiat money into cryptocurrency, and from there it plugs you into all of these different networks like decentralized finance, where you can get loans or even deposit your money to get 8% interest on that. Or you can just keep your crypto in your Coinbase account and use it like a checking account. Coinbase's debit card functions as the bridge between the crypto world and our current financial world. With the debit card, you can convert your cryptocurrency into fiat money for just the amount that you need. So let's say I have 1 Bitcoin and like 50 Ethereum, and I want to buy coffee from Starbucks. I can buy that coffee in just the same way that I would use any other credit card or debit card. The only difference is that when I use the Coinbase debit card, it converts some of my Bitcoin or Ethereum. I get to choose which one, and it converts that into the $4 that I would need to buy that coffee. So this debit card is a very important step in plugging into our current economy, because if you just have crypto and you can't buy anything with it, then it's kind of pointless, right? You want to be able to use your crypto as currency to buy things that you want. So this is a very critical step. Coinbase has a listing of cryptocurrencies the way that the New York Stock Exchange lists stocks. But unlike the New York Stock Exchange, which is localized to just the companies in the US, all the cryptocurrencies on Coinbase are global. The secret sauce that's going to make Coinbase the juggernaut of this industry is their venture capital firm, Coinbase Ventures. Just take a look at all these crypto projects that Coinbase Ventures has invested in. They were early investors in OpenSea, a marketplace that lets you mint, buy, or sell NFTs. Here's some of the things that you can do on OpenSea. You can buy or sell censorship-resistant websites, so nobody can take them down. You can also use the domain names to turn crypto addresses into human-readable addresses. So instead of having your wallet address look like this, you can have something that looks like this. OpenSea provides a marketplace for digital art, trading cards, collectibles, and even selling in-game assets like parcels of land in The Sandbox or special names in Decentraland. Have you heard about CryptoKitties? What about NBA Top Shot? These were created by Dapper Labs, one of the most famous NFT companies in the world. And you guessed it, Coinbase Ventures has their hand in that pot too. NBA Top Shot brings your childhood hobby of collecting NBA cards into the future. Instead of buying a physical booster pack, you can buy a digital one, and inside of that pack are a bunch of NFT gifts, which they call moments. Since they're minted as NFTs, you can buy and sell them as you would an ordinary baseball card. Coinbase also invested in The Graph, which is a search engine for Ethereum-based apps, kind of like what Google does for the web. Coinbase Ventures is investing in 70 different startups, which you should definitely go check out because it's going to create the next generation of companies and billionaires. We're in the middle of a very fundamental transformation in our economy and the way we interact with the web. We used to be in what I like to call Web 2.0, which was largely driven by 3 core innovations: mobile, social, and cloud. But all of that is changing. With the launch of the iPhone in 2007, mobile internet access not only increased the number of users that were online, but also the amount of time that we spent online. Back before mobile internet, we used to spend up to a few hours on the internet every day when we were sitting at our desktops or at our offices. Now, we have transitioned to an always-on state with that computer in your pocket. Social networks entice users to create helpful content, recommendations, and reviews, like sharing photos with friends on Instagram, or trusting strangers to rent our homes on Airbnb, or even getting into a stranger's car with Uber. Trust plays a very important role in our society. For example, if I'm a passenger and I order an Uber, I'm gonna look at the reviews for that driver to make sure that he's not a serial killer. And on the flip side, if I'm a driver for Uber, I'm gonna look at the passengers' reviews to see if they're a good person or not. Because obviously, nobody wants to get murdered.
Obviously, nobody wants to get murdered.
With cloud computing, we got companies like Netflix, Dropbox, and Spotify. So we can store our files and carry them with us everywhere. We can listen to music wherever we want with an unlimited library, and we can watch any movie or any show anytime we want. This is all enabled by the cloud infrastructure that we have. Not only that, but these 3 technologies also combine to form new things. So when you combine mobile and cloud infrastructure, you get things like Google Maps. And how many times have you used Google Maps in your life? I know I use it every single day. And getting lost in a city is a thing of the past because of these technologies. Web 2.0 created all of these tech companies that are now worth trillions of dollars. And they captured that trillions of dollars of value because they're able to collect your data. So Web 3.0 is going to be even more fundamental change to how we interact with the web. And that's because it's based on open, trustless, and permissionless networks. When I say they're open, I mean that they're open source, which means that anyone can look at the core software and see what is written in the code. Whereas right now, with all these companies that are developing their own software, they don't release their code out to everybody, right? So if you're on Facebook, you can't really tell what they're doing. You just see the newsfeed. You can't see the code behind it. So you can't tell if they're doing something fishy. These apps are trustless, which means that they don't need a third party to verify any of the information. So for example, if you want to send money to your friend, you can either use something like Venmo or Cash App or PayPal, but all of these 3 companies are private companies. They created the network so that you can do that transaction properly, right? Like you want to be able to transfer money from your bank to your friend's bank, but there's no way to do that without any of these 3 companies. But with Web 3.0, you'll be able to do that directly without needing anyone else in the mix. A permissionless network means that anyone can join the network without getting approval from a central authority. For example, SMTP and TCP/IP is an open protocol. So if you want to make a new email service that competes with Gmail or Yahoo, then you can do that. You don't have to get anyone's approval. And this is very important because we need to have these open borders to be able to innovate. Because cryptocurrency is fundamentally different from how we do things today, Web 3.0 apps look pretty different from Web 2.0 apps. A Web 3 app has 2 parts. You'll need a crypto wallet, like a MetaMask or Coinbase wallet, and then you'll need an app to use it with. The way it works is that your crypto wallet will have things like your NFTs, your cryptocurrency, and other data that you want to keep in there. And then you'll have a private key and a public key. If you're signing up to YouTube today, you'll have to make a username and a password to log in. But in a Web3 version of YouTube, your wallet's public key will be used as your username and your private key will function as your password, which is why you never want to give away your private key to anyone. The benefit of setting it up like this is that no single company can harvest all of your data. With a crypto wallet, you control all of your data, and then you also control how much of that data the company sees. It's kind of like when you download an app from the App Store and they ask for access to your camera and microphone and all these other things that what could they possibly be using it for? But you have no choice. You just have to accept either all of them or none of them. In a Web 3.0 version, when you leave an app, you can take all of your data with you. But that's not the case with Web 2 apps. There's many moving parts to this, but if this video helped you understand why Coinbase is worth way more than its current $50 billion market cap, then hit that like button below and subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.